On one random day in April, Donald Trump warned that an entire civilization would die that night unless Iran came to the table. 8 p.m. Eastern Time was the deadline. Massive strikes on bridges, power plants, the works. Cut to few hours later, Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire. On the same platform, Iran hadn't budged. Trump had. That moment, an hour before his own deadline, tells you almost everything you need to know about where US-Iran diplomacy actually stands right now. The plan is for both sides to meet in Islamabad. The US delegation, led by Vice President J.D. Vance, Iran sending its parliament speaker and foreign minister, Pakistan in the middle, playing host, and quietly, a lot more than that. But the talks haven't even started, and they're already in trouble. Here's why. When Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif announced the ceasefire, he was clear it covered Lebanon too. Israel's bombing there had to stop as part of the deal. Then Netanyahu called Trump, and Trump changed his mind, calling Lebanon a separate skirmish, effectively giving Israel the green light to keep going. Iran's foreign minister was blunt about it. The choice for the US, he said, was simple: ceasefire or continued war via Israel. It cannot have both. Iran has now said its team won't sit down in Islamabad until the Lebanon question is resolved. So before the talks can begin, there's already a deadlock about whether there will be talks at all. But zoom out, and what you're watching isn't just one diplomatic mess. It's a pattern. Back in March, Trump threatened to obliterate Iranian targets within 48 hours unless the Strait of Hormuz was opened. Nothing happened. The strait stayed on Iran's terms. Then came Tuesday's civilizational ultimatum. Same result. Iran has learned something about Trump. The threats are loud, but the follow-through is negotiable. Every deadline is really a starting point. And Iran has played its hand carefully. The Strait of Hormuz, through which roughly a fifth of the world's oil passes, was never formally closed, but Iran made very clear it could be. That single card spooked markets, rattled Gulf states, and forced the world to pay attention. It was the kind of strategic leverage you don't need to pull completely to make it work. The confusion in Washington. Meanwhile, Washington has been sending signals that contradict each other almost in real time. When Iran floated a 10-point proposal, which reportedly includes sanctions relief, a guarantee against future attacks, and a fee for ships using Hormuz, Trump initially said it was a workable basis for negotiations. Hours later, he said he hadn't been referring to the Iranian plan at all, but to a separate US proposal that Iran had already rejected. Then, when asked about the Hormuz toll idea, Trump called it a potential joint venture. A beautiful thing, he said. The next day, he tweeted that Iran better not be charging those fees and better stop immediately. That's not negotiating strategy, that's confusion. The winners, the wild cards. So who's actually come out ahead so far? Pakistan, for one. Many analysts, particularly in India, doubted it had the weight to broker anything in a crisis this complex, but it did. Whether the Islamabad talks succeed or not, Pakistan has already positioned itself as a serious diplomatic actor in a part of the world where that matters enormously. Iran, arguably, for another. It hasn't won anything permanent yet, but it has demonstrated that it can absorb a sustained US-Israeli bombing campaign, keep its leverage intact, and force the most powerful country in the world to blink before its own deadline. And then there's Israel, the wild card in all of this. It wants, by most accounts, something far more than a negotiated settlement. It wants Iran structurally weakened. Whether it uses its considerable influence over the US to quietly undermine these talks is the question that hangs over everything. The Islamabad talks, if they happen, won't resolve all of this, but they will tell us something important: whether the United States is serious about diplomacy or whether it's simply hoping that the next threat will land differently from the last. Iran, for its part, seems to have already made up its mind about the answer.